Okay, recording. Sorry if I sound crusty. I've been sick for a week. I was just a little sick at first, and then I decided to quit smoking, and then things really got bad. Like a detox, an innocent seeming product, crushed leaves, and yet, what a grip. What an absolute grip those leaves can have on us. But it's nice to be free. So let's get right into it. Thank you for being here. I love you all. God bless and welcome. Okay, I found another old Sears catalog. This one is really crusty. It's from 1897, the oldest one we've looked at, and still it's number 104, the spring catalog of 1897. I feel like I always fail. We never get through one. So let me just shut up and get to it. First of all, this really reminds me of Barnum Bailey Circus, greatest show on earth. This is the cheapest supply house on earth. Our trade reaches the world. Maybe I can't read something here. And this time we have different banks funding and vouching. Here we have the National Bank of the Republic. We didn't see that last time. Metropolitan Bank. And again, the German Exchange Bank. It's like we saw in the last one here. In 1902, German Exchange Bank, New York. And it's really rough. I mean, this is the cover. Look at this. This is it. Shipping these all over. People using them as toilet paper. And we just have one left. I mean, look at this. Not even squared off. It was slightly burnt. And the digitizing has just kind of cropped it. Pretty unbelievable. And here, this fair maiden in the clouds with a cornucopia. A what? A cornucopia. You know, like Fruit of the Loom. You might not know about that. But anyway, number 104. Here we're told Google has some hand in the digitizing of this. I don't think so. It's flexing. Really rough. You can barely read some of the parts. Really weird initial 10 pages, just like the other one. All their terms, more tables, more bonds. A little bond here, bunch of signatures. These banks vouching for Sears, essentially. And it starts out with the grocery department, tea, fine teas again, like in the last video, oolong, Japanese teas, coffee, and here it almost looks like some different products, but all their brand again. And this one was really interesting. We saw things in this one, once we get past the foods, that were really interesting, like I don't want to say it. We'll keep going. But why is my internet so slow? Everything is slow. Sears catalog is just too much for the computer. So here we start getting into some of the weird things. Here's some cream of tartar. You can still buy cream of tartar. I have some. Never used it. But it starts getting really novelty here. Really, I mean, you can't get these things anymore. That's all there is to it. Okay, no big deal. We're still in the groceries. Sauces, fruit butter. So much. I mean, just millions of products. I didn't read the intro. I mean, all the stuff at the top. But essentially, they were telling us in 1897 that they had like 500 employees. It's up here. Let me see. I'm not seeing it now. 500 employees and like a capital of $150,000 fully paid up. This is like an insurance term, like a paid up policy. Here we have rice, cheese, imported macaroni, fancy crackers, pretzels, everything. Like everything that could ever be. Anything you would ever need. Candies, sugar. They were selling pepper by the 5-pound tin up there. And here we go. It's starting to get a little bit more interesting. Buttermilk, glycerin soap, all kinds of soaps, polishes, the oil department, brooms. So let's take a pause and we'll go straight to the part that I was interested in sharing today. Somebody kindly asked when my birthday was, and I refused to tell them. God forbid I should get another phone call on my birthday. Personally, I like to just turn my phone off, disappear on my birthday. Here we have cigars. Speaking of quitting smoking, the war in Cuba will prevent almost all small dealers from selling genuine Havana goods. Really interesting. This is 1897, and they're like talking about the war in Cuba. Mason fruit jars. Friendly logo. More cigars. And here we have toilet paper. So here the Sears catalog itself will be used as toilet paper in an outhouse, and Sears sells toilet paper. I was wondering about that in the last video. Here we go. A case of 100 rolls, $2. Little Jewel, it's called. A special medium-sized perforated roll. Fair grade paper. A big bargain. Unbelievable here. 100 rolls for $2. Can you imagine? So that again lends to my theory that this magazine or catalog was not for these people that were wiping the ass with it. This was for a time when it would have been easy to ship all of this around. They had a different system. The world was already using toilet paper and even toilets we could order from this catalog, as we saw in the last video. We got cigars, beef scraps, and toilet paper. Here we have plug tobacco, like a chew. I used to enjoy that as a child. Bite a little chunk off, like a really dense brick, kind of pressed. It comes in nice flavors. Apple, sometimes. Jelly tar, 4 plugs, a smoking jacket. And here we go. Let me get on with it. The drug department. Drugs are weird. You know, I mean, you have the whole say no to drugs, and then our whole world is like a drug world. The drugstore. My supermarket in town is still called blankety blank food and drug. Food and drug. Seems so weird. 1897 Sears drug department. And this is really cool, actually. This is like before drugs were heavily controlled, I guess. This is like, you know, this represents a certain freedom in the world where there's no tight regulations on everything. And if it works, it works, and it grows in popularity. If it doesn't, people don't use it. Blackberry brandy. I could use some of that right now. It's compounded from 17 different roots and herbs. Excellent appetizer and a sure cure for dyspepsia and a general bracer up of the whole system, taken before meals. And here's some snuff. It's really grainy. I don't know why. Did Google, you know what? You know how Google all of a sudden has their fingertips on this? Look here. Digitized by Google? I don't think so. I think they've made it worse. They made everything grainy, just like they do with Google Earth. The way they blur things out. I think they came in and blurred, because it's really, I don't know, it's making me feel like it's my vision, but I don't think so. If I go over to this one, I see clearly. Everything is clear here, and there's no Google help. So yeah, Google, maybe just stay out of this. Cod liver oil, $5.50, something that I buy today. Something I would recommend to everyone. Take a couple tablespoons a day. Give it to your dog as well. A headache cure. This is a French specific for trouble of the urinary organs. In either male or female, will cure gonorrhea in 1 to 5 days. $8. Here we already have petroleum jelly, carbonated. Weird, be right. Carbolized. The addition of carbolic acid increases its healing properties. Kidney and liver cure. Look at this blurriness. Maybe they've repaired a damaged portion. They were just to give them the benefit of the doubt. Liver pills, worm cakes. My grandma told me about such things. And people used to take dewormers, the way you would worm a dog or a cat, and there's just no doing that anymore. There's not even any concern, it seems. I've taken dewormers for pets. Sulfur powdered and refined turpentine spirits for internal or external use. I believe turpentine is pine, like a pine spirits, made from the pine tree. Just unbelievable in 1897, like everything and more. A bone teething ring, the 12 chief remedies. Contains 12 remedies with direction. Look at the packaging and everything. I mean, unbelievable, really. These kind of seem like homeopathics. Did they know about those then? Homeopathics. I take a homeopathic. I don't know if I'm taking the right one. Let me look at which one I take. Natrum sulfuricum is the one that I take. Let's see if they have it here. Natrum myrrh. Do we have natrum sulf? I don't know. But that's pretty cool. Sears, a legit drugstore in this time period. Okay, here's where I think it starts getting cool. Pause if I haven't paused. The Princess Bust Developer and Bust Cream, or food, enlargement of the bust. And this thing that looks like a bell, no, this is actually a bust developer. Can you get something like that today? And Princess Tonic Hair Restorer. I don't know, everything in this time period will be derived from very natural sources, just not the bullshit we have today. I wonder if we can see what's in it. Cologne. And another thing I wanted to mention is, again, this is an American catalog. This is like the 100th catalog, and look how they're speaking. This reminds me of when I made a video discussing menus. And thank you for the person who sent me that awesome book, which I used to make that video. And that book, talking about like the 1850s up to the 1900s, like this, full of absolutely gourmet food, like food that was first of all pronounced in French. They were like French dishes with French names. I joked in that video that nobody would even know what the hell they were ordering. It's the same thing here. Like, who's gonna know 1897 America what the hell this is? I know what this is. Dentifrice. Sorry, I'm sick and nasally. Dentifrice. You might read it as dentifrice. What is dentifrice? Dent is tooth, and frice? I don't know what frice is. But it's basically floss. This is the French word for floss. Oh, Louise, can you grab my dentifrice? The hell are you talking about, Norm? What the hell is Norm talking about with his dentifrice in 1897? The most perfect preparation for teeth will keep them entirely free from stains and discolorations. It will eventually remove the tartar, hardens the gums, and keeps the teeth as lovely as pearls, leaving a delicious aftertaste in the mouth. They must have like a little mint, like today. But again, why aren't we calling it like, I don't know, something that an American would understand? Floss, or a tooth string, or something more understandable. What about this? Eau de jeunesse. Nom, have you seen my eau de jeunesse? The hell are you talking about, Louise? And what is eau de jeunesse? It is the water of youth. There we go. But again, call it the water of the youth? This? For the American eau de jeunesse? Is this for the American? And maybe it was. Maybe these people, who this catalog was really made for, were actually very cultured and knew many languages, or certainly anything in this book. Whereas I believe in the early 1900s America we're coming from, in this time period, nobody knows what the hell this is. Not then and not now. And here, la poudre merveilleuse. Oh, okay. No, I'm not going to do it, but you know what I'm saying here. The marvelous powder. Why not just call it the marvelous powder? I mean, who are we selling this to? This isn't France's Sears catalog. This is America. The 100th edition Sears. Chicago, 1897. Is this your Chicago? Is this your America? I don't think so. Here we go with some more drugs. I think this is what I've been looking for the whole time. Nerve and brain pills. These are fascinating. Liquor habit cure. Stop drinking. What are they going to put in these? God, the graininess. Google. And again, as we saw in Sears here, Sears 1902, a few years later, we're selling cameras in this catalog. So why don't we have pictures of these products? Why are they all hand-drawn? Here we go. Here's the cameras in the last catalog. And this is only like 4 years after this one, after this grainy piece of shit here. Why does everything need to be hand-drawn? At some point, it seems like they do start taking pictures, like a little later. And even in this 1902 we even see a few pictures. Just a few though, not enough. I mean, these may have been pictures, I don't know, really good drawings. Seem easier to take a picture than to draw this. So is this a picture? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Let's pause. Okay, 1897, we have these weird contraptions for the cock and balls. Really sketchy. But back to our drugs. In this time period, what's crazy is they'll be putting like cocaine in these formulas. I saw many when I was first going through this. And it was a big ingredient in many products of this time. I mean, even Coca-Cola. That's why they called Coca-Cola Coke. And this implies, like, again, a very advanced people. I mean, now you're going and harvesting things from South America and all over the world. This is next level. This was a really interesting beef and iron wine. A lot of nerve building agents. Here we have Peruvian wine of coca. There we go. Okay. Norm. A genuine rich wine imported by ourselves and well known throughout Europe for its strengthening and nourishing qualities. A body strengthener by Sears and Roebuck. Wine of coca. There we go. Eventually you'd have Coca soda, Coca-Cola. But here's a wine. Peruvian wine of coca aids digestion, removes fatigue, and improves the appetite, never causing constipation. Thank God. Endorsed by most physicians of the world, who recommend its use in the treatment of anemia, impurity, and impoverishment of the blood, constipation, weakness of the lungs, asthma, nervous debility, loss of appetite. So it really seems like a cure-all in this wine form. And the natives to this day walk around chewing the leaves. Peruvian wine. I'd like to go to Peru one day. There's a little Peruvian food cart in my town. Sometimes I get their chicken. What else can we get? Orange wine. And they're very wise. They're actually wiser than we are today. It's to say they're as wise as the ancient Chinese and the knowledge that Chinese medicine has left us. There's an expression in Chinese medicine: sweet to the mouth, bitter to the stomach. Bitter to the mouth, sweet to the stomach. And here, understanding the healing properties of the bitterness. Here we have a microbe killer against malaria and blood poison, killing germs which are basically in the blood. Dr. Pasteur's microbe killer will eradicate any form of disease and purify the whole system. Really reminds me of like ivermectin or fenben. And French arsenic complexion wafers. It's weird. Perfectly harmless when used with the right directions. An arsenic wafer. Some of them are really fascinating, but they're too grainy. Injection French specific. What is it? Injection number 7. Cures in 1 to 5 days. That's weird. A French specific. Having a great reputation abroad, a cure for all troubles of the urinary organs. That's that same thing we were looking at earlier, but I guess in a injectable version. So all of these, pretty hardcore. I hate needles. I've avoided them for at least 20 or 30 years. Actually, once they gave me a tuberculosis test for my hospital job. They didn't stick a needle in me, but they kind of pricked me. It was a very annoying prick. It's really funny that I'm so hoarse right now. And there's all these cures. Really amazing cures. And products, for that matter. A lot of things that I have here at my house. I mean, I have castor oil. I have borax. I wish I had some spirits of turpentine. And this is very controversial. And look how back then they're saying for internal or external use. When you wish to use turpentine as a medicine, whether internally or externally, always get a pure article. Never use the common oil of the turpentine that is generally sold for mixing with paints. Of course, this is very good advice. And here you can just buy it from Sears very safely. Glycerin, petroleum, again indicating that there is a thriving petroleum industry before the automobile. I mean, we have cars, but again, this is 1897. They'll be at their infancy. Epsom salts I have here. Sulfur candles. Here again, this carbolic acid for disinfecting, cleansing, etc. Quinine pills. Sugar or gelatin coated. And rat killer. All of a sudden, things for insects. I don't know if they'll tell us what it is. If I'm correct, today a big ingredient in this is fluoride. Be interesting if they hinted at this. So let's take one more pause. Okay, I totally failed again. First of all, it loads really slow. Look at this. This is just stupid. But it's very selective, but absolutely mind-blowing. I mean, if there wasn't every, food and drug, when we get into these things, it's just mind-blowing. And nothing has changed. They only had more of what we use and have today. More. And it was more beautiful and ornate. Everything. And as we saw in the last video, they had lights and power before everything. I mean, before people should care. The outhouse thing doesn't make any sense. I think that this Sears catalog actually destroys history, or at least the false version of it we've been told. It's so advanced. Of course they had plumbing. Look at all this. Plumbing plus everything. Act like there's any need to talk about an outhouse and wiping an ass. No wonder they sold the ass wiping story to us. No wonder they sold it to them. They wanted to destroy every one of these catalogs and not let people know what 1897 was really like and what 1850 and just going back in time was really like. This doesn't just sprout up overnight. You don't just sell things like this if people don't already have infrastructure. This is a pre-reset catalog, and they wanted to destroy every one of these catalogs. And they've survived, but barely. Look how grainy and pathetic this is. At least we have it. If you know, you know. You know that this is not just starting out here. You know these tools aren't just starting out. A lot of thought went into this. 100 years of thought went into all of this. And then we're sold this idea that people are using outhouses and horse and buggy, wiping their butts with this very catalog. I mean, a complete fabrication. The facts. Forgive me. I was thinking I would be more docile without a cigarette in my mouth. I'm not sure. I do feel a little weak still. I do have more energy. I can immediately tell. The house is very clean for the first time in a long time. Oh, sick. This is so sweet. I kind of have a stove like this in my other house. Not this beautiful. This is so nice. Oh my god. What do they say? It's a range made for cooking. Look how beautiful. Oh my god. And here we have the radium symbol. This seems like a radium stove. What do they say? For hard or soft coal or wood. So they're saying wood. Just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I want to see if we do have a radium model. And maybe that's why it's so grainy and altered and googled. Laundry stoves. That is sweet. Have you heard of a laundry stove? Oh, great. Kind of a beautiful pot-belly stove. This looks more like mine on the left here. Just not as ornate and beautiful as this one. I mean, again, we're struggling, right? We're supposed to be struggling our asses off. Early America, just eating shit and dirt. Ooh, here we go. Look, I think they're BSing us. I really do. I think these may have been fudged with. That's how come it's just so discolored here. You see that? You can see that? Oops, sorry. Try not to cuss around my animals. They've BS'd it. You see how they have, it's all light here? This would have said for wood only, but this would have said probably radium. And again, let me flash the picture that I really went into good detail in my last video at the beginning about the radium fireplaces, even in France. And I think that's why these are all light, discolored. They have changed everything. Again, we have cameras. We could take a picture. We could have a better sketch than this. It's like we're getting it, but it's clearly been altered. Let me know. I could have missed something. And you all can check this out if you'd like. It's on the Internet Archives. And come on, if that's not a radium stove, I don't know what is. And again, we can see it. We have proof. Thank God. We're not easily fooled. But yeah, they're telling us all of these are for coal. And we couldn't have one copy unfudged. I'm not buying it. Coal, maybe, but not wood. In any case, they are beautiful. They're just, even if they were for wood, just stupid, right? For the average person. And look at the price. $8. $8, 181 pounds. This weighs a lot more than 181 pounds. That's another thing. 1800s, you're shipping this to somebody's house? This is the Sears catalog. Oh, this is awesome. This is so awesome. Self-feed base burner. So this one now, bright sunshine. Well, I'm not seeing wood or coal on this baby. Look at this, almost having this oriental feel. So beautiful. No doubt this has to be a radium heater. No way to burn wood in this. And what about this one? Made of nickel. Full nickel stove. I mean, I think just the fact that they're calling it Merry Sunshine. What do we have here? Bright sunshine. It's like the radium. That's what they said. The inventor or supposed discoverer of the radium, a lady named Marie, she was French. A little tiny piece placed on a penny would shine like the sun. Airtight stoves. This one is for wood chips. Super cool, and nothing has changed. Same things that you snap together today that I have on my stove. If you've ever had to snap these together, you know. But I don't know. Just mind-blowing. I am sad, of course, that I'm not gonna probably ever get through one of these. But that's okay. We can come back and revisit again. Let me know if anything stood out. Your thoughts. As always, I don't know. It's for damn sure. I hope you enjoyed. I love you all. God bless, and I'll see you next week.